Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Summer here bringing you a hot or not.
Today, the Dungeon of Black Company is in the hot seat, so let's judge creativity. So we have an isekai, and he has come from his actual world through a portal. Instead of having like adventurers and adventurous guilds, we've got companies that have capitalized the hell out of dungeons, and governments are giving contracts to companies, and the ores that are usually sold by adventurers that we would usually, sort of see is actually an energy source, and the companies are getting their workers / slaves. I'm gonna say workers because they're being paid and they have some form of choice.
So for me, in terms of creativity, I really like the concept. You know what? In general, isekais nowadays are getting more up with the times, and this is just another example of that, with us moving forward from the whole medieval sword slashing, kill some monsters, make some money, get the girl, and this being corporate minded and sort of a mimicry of the Industrial Revolution, because I don't care what anyone says, in the Industrial Revolution, this is literally exactly how they treated the miners. This is literally exactly how they treated the new companies that started out. There were no regulations, there was no health and safety, there was go get the mine, cry about it if you get hurt, don't come to us though, not our problems. And I really like that because it's quite creative to use that as your medium. Also, I really like the business side of it. Like, obviously, Kinji has said he's a NEET, and I didn't know what NEET stood for, so I did a quick little Google search, and it basically meant not in employment, education, or training. So he's a work shy dude, and him being super lazy means that he's always thinking of the next angle, the next way he's gonna make money, and I thought that was pretty creative.
Entertainment. So I thought that here we had a really interesting take on normal isekai tropes. So we have a NEET, but he is fine speaking to other people. Usually when you see these NEETs, they're usually also shut-ins and they can't speak to people. They have a lot of other issues, but we didn't get any of that here. He just doesn't have a job. You've got the dragon girl who was barely clothed. Immediately she was cloaked. And then we had the isekai through the portal with no higher purpose. There's like no saving the world. There's no you're here and you're this amazing person that has powers. He literally has nothing, he's just here. So I actually really enjoyed the take on the normal tropes that we get.
So for me, in terms of entertainment, I found it entertaining that the main character, Kinji, was basically not a good guy. He wasn't really the MC that you expect. It's not like Danmachi, and I know Danmachi's not an isekai, don't kill me in the comments, but it is that kind of feel to it. So it's not like Danmachi where you know that the main character is the good guy, the righteous one, who somehow has a harem and keeps stringing every single woman along. So he gives a good face but acts bad in the background. That kind of situation. This guy is, you see what you get what you get. He is not nice, he's a mean dude, and all he cares about is himself. And I really found that entertaining watching his hijinks.
Character development. The first person I want to talk about is Ninomiya. He enjoys being a NEET, but he's actually not the stereotype. Like I already said, he's actually smart, he's lucky, he's invested well, and he's living off of his early hard work. So it's not necessary that he just doesn't have a job and he's just a layabout. He is actually invested, he has properties, he's a smart guy, and he's living off the proceeds of that. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. He is an opportunist, and the first chance that he gets to have some power, he ends up being actually worse than the bosses. He works them until they are almost at death's door. Like it was bad, and he has no empathy. He is a bit of a you know, before we even get to the Dungeon of Black Company, when he's still on Earth, we could actually see him looking on the internet to look at the working class people who had to work during these horrible storms and laughing at their tweets and stuff like that, like just enjoying their suffering. So he is really a but he's also honest and blunt. He doesn't pretend to be something that he's not. You know where you stand with him, even if that's not great. And then also there's Wannabe. He looks like he should be this intimidating guy, but his personality is extremely weak and he just takes anything that is thrown at him. It almost feels as if he's just so used to that. That's been his whole life and he's just comfortable with it now. Even though he's big and he's got all these muscles, the way he holds his posture, he actually cowers in and it matches his personality. He is actually the only tiny slither of a conscience that we get throughout this whole episode, but he also goes unheard, which I think is very interesting because that's kind of reality. And then you've got Rim, who is like a pet wolf. Yeah, she's cute and you might want to pet her, but she'll also eat you with the slightest provocation. She's like a wild animal that looks as if she's not. I also like that she's also in it just for herself. Like, even though she's helping them, it's not like, oh, I'm helping you and we're becoming close. And even though they had moments where like she jumped in the bath with Ninomiya and it seemed like a almost friendly moment, the next minute she was like, oh, okay, you're not gonna feed me, I'll eat you instead, as I was going to. There is no real genuine relationship there. I like it.
Yeah, basically piggybacking on what Ruka said in terms of character development. I already said it before. You get what you see with him. He's wearing his heart on his sleeve and he's being blunt and honest about what he wants. He does not want to work, so he will do his best not to work. And if that means figuring out a way to make sure that he hits quota and doesn't work, so be it. Now, I read somewhere in the business book a few years ago that you hire lazy people because they'll figure out a more efficient way to get the job done if they do any work at all. I don't know how true that is, but it's definitely true in this case. Now, Wannabe, his name is really, it's a very good characteristic of who he is. He wants to be the tough, intimidating guy, but really truly isn't. And that's why he's following Kinji. I like the little play on words here, and I thought that was really cool. Now, Rim. Ruka's literally said everything I was going to say about Rim. She's self-involved. It's all about her, in her situation. Give her food, she won't bite you. Don't give her food, you're getting bitten. But I found it funny that someone called Rim bit the backside of someone else, and I'm going to leave it there.
You're nasty. You are world building. The world is basically like a beefed up version of ours. You know, you've got rampant capitalism, you've got it seems like corrupt government because they are obviously catering to the businesses before the people. You've got very poor labor laws. They had someone who hadn't had a day off in 3 months. Now, I don't know about everywhere else, but over here in the UK, we have like maximum hours that you're allowed to work in a week. And in order to like work more than that, you have to actually fill out like a particular form so that you can work extra hours. I don't know what it's like in other countries and stuff like that, but I definitely know that 3 months working straight with no breaks is not the norm for most. No, I'm not even gonna say, there's too many countries in the world for me to say most countries, and I know too little about all of their laws, so I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said before, absolutely everyone is out for themselves. Like, nobody thinks about others. The only person that is in that position would be Wannabe, and it doesn't matter whether the people are in like a low or a high position. Everyone is out for themselves. It's so cutthroat.
In terms of world building, so the name of the world is called Amuria, and I really like the name of that, literally. World building is weird for me in this situation because I kind of felt it was a little bit lazy. Yes, the creativity concept was good, but you're looking for Demon Knight ore. That was lazy. This is what you need to do. That was a little bit lazy. Creating Rim to be the sort of lolly type whatever character. You're relying too heavily on tropes in terms of building the world. I don't know much about the world except for the fact that it's a company and this guy has to work. It also seemed like we got a time jump from day one to like a few months later without anything in between. So I was a little bit lost in the beginning in terms of world building. But other than what Ruka said, That's my 2 cents on the matter.
Plot execution. So, we don't really know exactly the full plot, but it does seem like Ninomiya is trying to recreate the life that he had on Earth here. There seems to be no actual aim to get back to Earth or to get back to his life. He's just kind of like going with the flow, like, okay, I have been teleported, I'm gonna recreate what I had, and we're just gonna leave it at that. Like, he really doesn't care.
Yeah, for me, plot execution. Yeah, I like the fact that we were given this little gem as an episode where you kind of really got to know what the show is going to be about. As you said, there's been no real focus as a goal or a quest for him to take. There's been no real mission as to what he was going to do with all this money that he was going to get. Because we don't know much of the world in that sense yet. We don't know what kind of houses he can buy and that kind of stuff. Do you get what I mean? But in terms of a first episode, what could you expect from the plot? It did what it had to do. It made you want to watch episode 2.
I think that they did show us a little bit with the bath. They mentioned earlier you could only have a bath once a month, but the bath that he had was like a small one. I would expect that if you're working in this kind of corporation where it's almost like slavery, the bath would be like either a big bathhouse or just like, swimming pool style where there's like cubicles and you just have at it.
Oh,
but he was in a private bathroom.
That's true.
And he was like, yes, this is what I want, kind of thing. So let's go to the verdict. Creativity, hot or not?
Yeah, for me, creativity is hot. It's a nice concept and I definitely want to see more.
Yeah, it's a hot for me as well. I think that it was definitely creative. I like the play on the normal anime tropes. I think that they have certain things there to kind of make fun of it. Entertainment, hot or not?
Yeah, entertainment, definitely hot. I definitely want to see episode 2. I definitely want to keep in touch with this anime.
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. It was interesting. Not necessarily humorous, but that's not always needed. It was still entertaining. Definitely a hot. Character development.
Yeah, so for me, originally I said it was a not in my head, but definitely a hot. Because as I deep it, every character that was introduced was given a clear goal and mission, and I loved it.
I quite enjoyed the character development as well. It's a hot for me. I like the characters that we have so far. I like the varying differences of the characters and how mismatched they are. Like, you would never put these 3 people together. World building, hot or not?
I think you could tell by the tone of my voice, this is a not for me. I don't think they've done enough to build the world to my satisfaction.
This is a hot for me. I like the world building. I think that they have done a good job and I'm looking forward to them continuing on this thread for the rest of the anime. Plot execution, hot or not?
This is also another not for me. It's not that I don't think that it was a good plot. I just feel for episode 1, it was a plot focus, so there was no plot.
Yeah, it's a not for me, but this actually does not really bring down the overall score of the anime for me. I feel like they did compromise on plot, but that was because they gave us a lot of information on the characters and they really concentrated on them. So this anime might end up being more character focused, which I don't mind. I actually really quite like that. So I don't hate that the plot was not existent yet. I do think we will get one, maybe a couple of episodes in. So here you have it. I have said it was hot for 4 out of 5. Big Boy Sam said it for 3 out of 5 categories. We will be back again.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.
And let us know what you think in the comments.
Peace.